Hi everyone, I am Whitney and I have been around the internet for a very long time and I have seen a lot of tutorials where people take clothing and they upcycle it into something else and it's supposed to be wearable and sometimes it just doesn't really look wearable. There are times when it just leaves you kind of wondering what is even going on. So today I am sharing my top 7 clothing upcycles. They start as clothing and they finish up as completely wearable garments. First up is a project that I've made multiple times, transforming a pair of jeans or shorts into a skirt. You start by cutting the jeans or shorts off about an inch below the bottom of the zipper. Then you decide what you want for the bottom of the skirt. I did this a while back for my kids. I had a dress they had outgrown that had been gathered and I sewed them together to make a new skirt. It's really cute. I even did a post about it on Patreon that I can link down below. I've done this for myself a few times as well. I used jeans, cut them off, and then patchworked a bunch of vintage sheet pieces together to make a really fun skirt. Next up is using old or unwanted knit shirts to make shorts. Back in college, I had come across an Under Armour shirt that was like a size 2 or 3X, and I cut out the pieces from it to make myself a pair of shorts that I could wear under skirts in case the wind blew, as it tends to do in Oklahoma. I would have what I called safety shorts underneath. I've also done this for my kids. I used polo shirts that my husband was no longer using and even placed my pattern pieces just right to where I didn't even need to hem the shorts at the end because I was using the existing hem from the bottom of the shirt. You can even do this with leggings if you have large enough shirts. I used some of my old maternity shirts and made leggings for my daughter. Again, I have videos on all of this that I will link in the video description box, so check there for basically any of the projects that I am mentioning. Next up is a project that takes a little more work, a little more thinking, but it can be really, really cute in the end. And this one started as a shirt that both my daughters loved and both of them had outgrown. So I was trying to find a way to extend the life of this shirt so they could continue to enjoy the graphic that was on it. And I came up with the idea of using it as the focal piece for a pinafore dress. Now I used the pinafore pattern McCall's 7459 as a jumping off point, and the graphic from the shirt became the front upper portion of the pinafore. Obviously, one outgrown shirt is not going to be enough material to make an entire dress, so I did add a thrifted curtain to this project to have enough material, and it just turned out so cute and they were able to continue to enjoy that shirt that they really, really loved. And again, don't forget to check the description box for links to videos on all these projects. Next up is a project along the same vein of extending the life of a t-shirt or just a shirt that you really enjoy. And this is adding a pocket onto a sweatshirt. So you can use an old t-shirt to add a kangaroo pocket on the front of a sweatshirt. And it can be really fun. And you can have it match, or you can use a shirt with a graphic and add just a fun pop of color or a fun graphic onto just a plain boring sweatshirt. I think this is just a really fun use for an old t-shirt. And it can make a really fun statement piece depending on what shirt you choose. Now for an idea that is another dress, but this time it is the bottom portion of the dress that is repurposed from an old shirt. I, several years back, made a dress called the Willow dress. And for the top, it was made just with stash fabrics using just a basic dress type bodice. And then for the bottom, instead of using yardage, I cut off an old pearl snap shirt that I liked but no longer fit me. I used that for the bottom portion of the dress and sewed it together. It's really, really cute. And yeah, it's a fun way to use a button-up or pearl snap shirt that you want to give a little extra life to. And it's one of those projects that you don't have to hem at the end because you're using the bottom portion of a shirt that was either already hemmed or serged to begin with. I have a 2T, 3T pattern up on my website for free for this dress, and that pattern will be linked below as well. This next one is a favorite of mine, and it is newsboy hats. I started making hats in college because I have a very small head and none of these store-bought hats fit me, so I started cutting up clothes from my closet. I cut up corduroy skirts, I cut up jeans, I cut up a trench coat, and I made all kinds of hats from them. I started selling hats to my friends, I started selling hats on Etsy, and it is so much fun. You can get a couple of hats from one article of clothing usually. And I love to incorporate the buttons and the original seams or pockets or different details in it so you can really see that it did come from an existing piece of clothing. And I think that just makes it really unique and a whole lot of fun. And again, I do have a free pattern for my newsboy hat as well. Another really fun and easy project is t-shirt dresses, and I really love doing this for kids. You just take a basic t-shirt, it can be a new one or a thrifted one, it can be plain, it can have a picture. You cut off a little bit of the bottom and then you add a skirt onto it. It can be an actual skirt, it can be just gathered rectangle of fabric, it can be a circle skirt, it can be an A-line skirt, whatever you want to add. A favorite thing I like to do is to actually add like superhero logos onto the shirt and then themey fabric for the bottom. So for example, I made Skylar a Wonder Woman dress and I made a Wonder Woman logo for the shirt, and then I used star print fabric for the bottom. I've also in the past made costumes for both kids doing this, a different version of the Wonder Woman dress as well as a Batgirl dress for Peyton. And this is just a really fun way you can make actual clothing, or you can make casual costumes that are really comfortable for kids to wear. So those are my 7 tried and true clothing upcycles, but wait, I do have a bonus upcycling idea for you as well. And this one didn't count in the 7 because it does not start as clothing to begin with, but it does turn into clothing. And it is making circle skirts from circle tablecloths. So anytime I see a nice circle tablecloth at the thrift store, and by nice I mean a color or pattern that I like, I will go ahead and buy it because I can so easily turn it into a beautiful skirt. So all you do is fold the tablecloth into quarters and use a circle skirt calculator to find the radius that you need to cut, basing it off of just about 1 inch more than your hip size or the widest part around the lower portion of your body. You cut that out, then you make a waistband. I showed how to do this in my plaid tiered skirt video. And you just sew it onto the opening that you cut in the middle of the tablecloth. It is that simple, just adding an elastic waistband onto a hole in a tablecloth and bam, you have a skirt. No hemming, nothing, and it's so beautiful looking. The tablecloths are often a little bit thicker, heavier fabric, and so they just flow nicely, and I absolutely love them. I've done this for in a yellow circle tablecloth for a medieval Snow White type costume I put together. So those are my favorite tried and true wearable upcycles. I hope this has inspired you to remake something, recycle something, and turn some of your old clothing into something new and amazing. Let me know in the comments what your favorite thing to upcycle is, and until next time, happy sewing.